let's move on to another one. And this one I really wanted to hear because I haven't seen this film. But it is the most goofiest one out of all the 5 reviews we've got in the podcast, and I think if it's done by Jack, it's just going to be insane. So, Jack, what is this film?
It's Ninja Assassin.
So I was going to be racist. I'm sorry.
No, it's cool. Just don't mention that was a child. No, I mean, anyway.
Go on.
I felt reviewing reviewing a silly film. I mean, mainly because every silly film for budget I have ever reviewed, I usually give a lot of negative feedback to. And this film's much different, but it follows everything that a silly film usually does. A, cliche story. B, not great acting. C, over-the-top action. But what makes this film different? It's actually fun to watch. Because you get the films like Resident Evil Afterlife that I've talked about that numbs you as if it was actually injecting morphine into your eyes. Then you've got films like Transformers 2, which gives you advanced kidney failure. But whereas this, it's just due to its fun and gore, which mix together so seamlessly that it keeps you entertained from start to finish. It's modern, but with a sense of old 80s action to it. Action here are a few words, tormented past, kick-ass present. I'm not saying it's an absolutely brilliant film, it's not because you've seen most of this before, but what it does do, it sets it out to do competently. Although I have to say this film subscribes to epic foreshadowing that I haven't seen in a long time.
What do you mean epic foreshadowing? What is this like in the first 5 minutes?
I'm going to quote Kiss Kiss Bang Bang to back up my point on this one.
Interesting, go on.
Gee, do you think it'll all come back later, maybe? I hate it when movies do that. TV's on, talking about the new power plant. I wonder where the big climax will happen.
So is it pretty much like that? It's so obvious that where the movie's going to go that...
All right, well, it's been out for a while, but basic, this is how it happens. They're all gang meetings happen in this place, and then they obviously know a ninja's about to come, and then this old guy's like, oh, I remember last time a ninja came. I only didn't die because my heart is on the other side of my chest, luckily. And then it was like, okay, all right. Then at the end, this girl gets stabbed through the heart, and you're just thinking, oh, what's the best thing? She's got her heart on the other side as well. Oh wait, she does. Oh, brilliant.
So this piece of information was sort of like saying like, oh, by the way, remember this because it's going to be very important later on.
I mean, I can see why I did it, because if they had just pulled out oh, my heart's on this side, I think the entire audience would have gone, that's convenient.
It's like, well, that's just, any of that would say, well, it's not just that convenient. Well, that's just stupid now, isn't it?
But sometimes it does just randomly take liberties with the laws of physics, which is also one of my problems with these types of films. Because, yeah, I know it's an action film and not everything's going to be real, but they start out by having it kind of realistic how they're going to fight.
Yeah.
And then later on, it starts getting a bit, I don't want to say Naruto about it, but it does. And because he gets sliced across his chest, the main character, Rain, said Korean pop star, and he just starts doing the random signs with his hands for the Japanese animals or whatever. And this somehow heals his entire wound. And it's made no reference to the fact that they've got superpowers before this. It's made no reference to the fact that they can move faster than the eye can. Well, obviously they're ninjas, they can. But yeah, and then they also start just powering up randomly and flicking around the screen. You're thinking, okay, this was a progression that I did not see coming. Out of nowhere, the fact that they can do this.
Okay, that's an interesting point.
It's a fun movie, and it doesn't have to subvert all the laws of the universe, but ninjas being able to throw shurikens at the same speed of bullets. But hey, we knew they could do that anyway.
Yeah, they're ninjas. I think the excuse for everything there is that it's like, oh, we didn't know they could do that. They're ninjas. Okay. Yeah. Oh, we didn't know they could do that either. They're ninjas. It's like, oh, but they're ninjas. That's all you got to kind of.
It's invalid. They are ninjas.
Ninjas can do anything basically. So that's what I think.
But they're
that's the
not
logic
turtles, so it's not fun.
Yeah, but we'll keep on going anyway. It's more like every excuse that the movie's trying to cover up you can just say because they're ninjas.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, it's good to actually have a goofy movie. I want like see a goofy film once in a while, and I think I might actually go and see that one because I was quite reserved on that at the beginning because it just well the producers of it is actually the Wachowski brothers, isn't it?
Yes, and you can tell there is a lot of Matrixy bullet-foo things with shurikens, and I'm not sure because it really does look like this film was in 3D.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously saw it on TV, but there was just bits of it where it proper slowed down and was like, with a little because you know how in V for Vendetta, by the way, the Wachowski, you know how when he throws his knife, there's that little trail. Like
they do the same with the shurikens as well?
Yeah, same with the shurikens, same with his random knife on a chain, which he's got.
Cool.
It slows through the air and you just see... But it's very, very gory. But it's CGI blood, so it upsets me slightly. But,
wait. Are we talking about CGI blood? 'Cause there are some cases of good CGI blood, like...
I never like CGI blood. I never ever like it. It's always easy to tell if it's CGI blood, and it detracts from the narrative.
True. I mean, have you guys seen Zatoichi? That samurai film, which started off which is starring I think Beat Takeshi. And
is that the blind one?
The Blind Samurai, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it briefly.
Yeah, and that all the blood there, the majority of the blood in that is done CGI, and you even get CGI swords, and you can tell. And it does get irritable, but but the only thing is it doesn't take away from the story, at least. Does the really fake blood in this actually take away from the whole viewing experience?
Well, it does, because I watched Harry Brown the other day, and, for a gritty English thing, you thought, well, they could pull off some... But no, all of it was CGI blood that was coming out of people. I was just sat there like, oh, for God's sake. Don't give this stuff to Michael Caine.
Can I say something about CGI blood? Okay, clearly CGI work can be quite expensive because you have to hire the right person to do it. Isn't it just easier just to make your own gallon of fake blood? I did that. I made that, and that cost me like a tenner.
It's a filmmaker's rite of passage, that is.
Yeah, you gotta make your own fake movie blood and then cover yourself in it and then probably start licking it off because it tastes really sweet. So yeah, that's the kind of thing you have to do. And it does irritate in the CGI blood. I mean, there are good uses to a degree if you like extra little bits. If you want to make when you combine real blood with CGI blood to make it seem bigger, that actually looks pretty awesome. But when it's all CGI, it just looks stupid, doesn't it?
It does. You need to at least... I can understand CGI blood for some scenes when you can't do it. Mm-hmm. But, they worked through the entire 70s and 80s using real blood. And that was fine.
His for the case against CGI, the wolves in Twilight. Awful. Just awful.
So basically, we should just get rid of all CGI in general. And let's go back to the old school
Unless
days.
James Cameron's behind it.
Basically, unless you want to make gigantic alien cat smurfs, you...
Back off, Avatar. Back off,
Transformers looked awesome.
Transformers looked awesome, but had no plot in it. Although, again, Transformers 2 did have gigantic robotic balls. So,
don't even make that as a joke. That's not even funny. That is terrible.
Would you recommend... Let's wrap this up quickly. Would you recommend Ninja Assassin to everybody?
Not to everybody, but to most.
Cool. Awesome.
Because some people might find it a bit benign, but it's different because basically the people who didn't like The Expendables won't like it.
All right. That pretty much sums it up. Okay.